One way to get at this, it's another different take on it, is inclusion and exclusion criteria. So this has to do with access and individualizing and being patient-centric. Many of the inclusion and exclusion criteria that when someone says, oh, I have lung cancer, oh, here's a lung cancer trial, and they say, oh, you can't go on the trial. And much of that is because there's language that was cut and pasted from a previous trial, which is not really pertinent. So if the new drug is metabolized by the kidney, you don't necessarily need to look at the liver studies. And we did we did a small study, or I was aware of a small study done by Kaiser, where if we improve the inclusion-exclusion criteria, accrual rate could go up 30%. So no cost to that.
So first of all, we're in this age of electronic medical records. It would seem that at their fingertips, there could be some analysis of your record and some matching or offering of trials that could come out of an analysis of your results, genomic results. Do you have ALK or ROS or whatever, if it's lung cancer, whatever it may be, me JAK2 positive in myelofibrosis, what is various status for us, and also broader inclusion criteria. And Mike was getting at that, saying exclusion was just cut and pasted. And a lot of us patients would feel, well, that's just unfair. So what's your comment on all that about inclusion, exclusion, and analysis so we can be matched with trials more easily, can be offered to us?
Inclusion and exclusion criteria are really important parts of trials. They're what get people into trials. They're what keep people from being in trials. And unfortunately, Andrew, many times the criteria are very defined, very narrowed, and drug companies especially want to do it this way to get the best effective appearance of their drug. They want to get approval. And yet in the real world, many times, in fact most times, patients who would not even meet inclusion criteria are the very patients that are going to be taking these drugs. And Mike's right, there's too much cut and paste. If a trial takes 1,000 patients to write a proposal or a protocol, too many times researchers will just take the exclusion criteria that might have been from a previous trial, and as Mike says, cut and paste it when perhaps it's not even necessary to have creatinine values or kidney values measured so precisely on this particular drug compared to the other one. So those are the criteria that let people in or keep people out of trials, and they absolutely need to be widened to make a drug more applicable to the general population. We need to reflect the general population more in trials.
Right. It's sort of a catch-22. So if somebody's at a drug company and they're investing hundreds of millions of dollars maybe to develop a drug, and then that trial is languishing or taking longer to get there, somebody ought to go back and say, well, can I loosen up this criteria, get the big answer, and do benefit to patients who may be very willing to be in a trial if it doesn't have all of these requirements that are not really necessary, and we can get the answer and get it quicker and help people along the way. It's pretty obvious to me. I hope they're watching, folks.